In the year 1869, in the seaside town of Porbandar, nestled in what is now Gujarat, India, a boy was born under a modest roof. His father, Karamchand Gandhi, was the Diwan, a chief minister in the local court. His mother, Putlabai, was deeply religious, devoted, and gentle. The family named the boy Mohandas. Mohandas was like many children, curious, quiet, and sensitive. But from an early age, there was something different about him. He had a heart too large for hate, a conscience too tender to lie. And yet, like all of us, he stumbled. He lied once to his father about stealing meat. Consumed with guilt, young Gandhi wrote a letter of confession and placed it in his father's hand. His father wept, not with anger, but with compassion. That day, Gandhi discovered the weight of truth, and the redemption it could bring. At the age of 13, he was married to Kasturba, a girl of the same age. Their relationship began like many arranged marriages, awkward, unfamiliar, but over time it deepened into a bond of mutual respect and shared purpose. She would become his partner not just in life, but in revolution. At 19, Gandhi left for London to study law. It was his first real exposure to the Western world. He swapped his Indian dhoti for English suits, struggled with food, customs, and loneliness. But slowly, he found his footing. He read voraciously, Tolstoy, the Bible, the Bhagavad Gita. He gave up meat, studied philosophy, and wrestled with the idea of how to live a moral life in a world that seemed anything but. When he returned to India, law degree in hand, he found little success in the courtroom. Clients were few, and his timid voice struggled in the combative environment. Then, an opportunity came from a remote British colony, South Africa. A wealthy merchant needed legal help. Gandhi boarded a ship, not realizing he was sailing into the furnace that would forge his destiny. In South Africa, Gandhi encountered raw, brutal racism. Indians were second-class citizens, humiliated and harassed. On one winter night in 1893, he boarded a train with a valid first-class ticket. A white man, offended by his presence, had him thrown off. Gandhi spent the night in a freezing station in Pietermaritzburg, shivering, wounded, but not defeated. That night changed him. He could have returned home. Instead, he stayed for 21 years. He fought for Indian rights, organized protests, and built communities based on shared labor and nonviolence. He formed the Phoenix Settlement, a commune where families lived simply, farming, educating their children, and practicing satyagraha, his philosophy of truth force or nonviolent resistance. Gandhi wore Indian clothes again. He learned to clean latrines, spin his own cloth, and live simply. Power, he believed, did not come from wealth or status, but from service. By the time he returned to India in 1915, he was not the man who had left. He was Mahatma, great soul, a title given by poet Rabindranath Tagore. India was boiling with unrest. British rule had grown crueler. Taxes crippled farmers. Civil liberties were crushed. And yet, Gandhi did not rush into politics. He traveled the country, listening, observing. He wanted to understand the pulse of his people. He found hope in the villages, not in speeches or cities, but in the soil, in the hands of weavers, farmers, and outcasts. He began preaching self-reliance. Spin your own cloth, he urged. Boycott British goods. Free yourself in your own heart. The British mocked him. What threat was a half-naked fakir with a wooden staff? But Gandhi understood something they didn't. Minds enslaved by fear could not win freedom. But minds awakened by truth could not be controlled. In 1919, British troops opened fire on unarmed civilians in Amritsar, killing hundreds. Gandhi was heartbroken, but he still would not raise a fist. Instead, he called for non-cooperation. Schools, courts, and offices shut down. He led marches, fasts, and strikes. Jail became a badge of honor. In 1930, Gandhi chose one of the simplest of commodities, salt, to ignite a storm. He walked 240 miles from his ashram to the sea, barefoot, to make salt in defiance of British law. The salt march drew thousands. The world watched. British officers beat unarmed protesters. But Gandhi said, "We will not strike back. We will not break. We will win by refusing to hate." He was jailed repeatedly, but his spirit only grew. Even in prison, he read, wrote, and dreamed of an India united, not just politically, but spiritually. He fought casteism, embraced untouchables, and called them Harijans, children of God. He spun his wheel, lived on goat's milk, and meditated daily. He wasn't just building a free country, he was building a moral movement. Then came World War II. Gandhi was older now, frail, his ribs visible, his hands thin. The British wanted Indian support in the war. Gandhi refused. "Quit India," he declared in 1942. Arrested again, he watched from prison as chaos erupted. The war ended. Britain was exhausted. The tide had turned. On August 15, 1947, India became free. But the cost was unimaginable. India was divided into two nations, India and Pakistan. The lines were drawn with ink but soaked in blood. Neighbors became enemies. Trains arrived full of corpses. Cities burned. Gandhi did not celebrate. While the nation rejoiced, he walked into the fires of hatred. He fasted to stop the violence, days without food, barely able to stand. But he stood anyway. Hindu and Muslim leaders came together to beg him to eat. His fast broke only when they vowed to protect each other. But not all agreed with him. On January 30, 1948, Gandhi walked through the gardens of Birla House in Delhi for his evening prayer. A man stepped forward, bowed, and fired 3 bullets into his chest. Gandhi collapsed. His last words, "Hey Ram, O God." He died as he lived, peaceful, prayerful, and unafraid. Gandhi's body returned to dust. His ashes were scattered into rivers. But his soul walked on. He left no palace, no monument, no army. Yet his name is remembered across the world. Martin Luther King Jr. marched with Gandhi in his heart. Nelson Mandela held Gandhi's light in Robben Island. Millions fight today, not with swords, but with truth, because of the path Gandhi paved. He taught us that freedom isn't won by conquering others, but by conquering ourselves. That violence can imprison bodies, but not beliefs. That one man, with truth in his heart and peace in his hands, can turn an empire to its knees. He was Mohandas. He became Mahatma. He remains, a silent storm that still echoes through time. "Dove, my life is my message," he once said. And what a message it was.